What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Horror Nights Unscripted, a podcast surrounding all things Halloween Horror Nights related in an unscripted and unique way. Today is episode 7. Yes, episode 7 today. My name's Scott from SoCal Exploring.
I'm Adrian from LoshTV.
And we are your boys filming our filler as usual. It's a new thing. If you guys didn't watch the most recent episode with one of our character friends, we talked about doing like fillers, and
Yeah.
it's kind of a funny name, fillers,
I mean,
but
it works.
it works to fill in the emptiness of the intro, I guess.
Exactly. And to give you guys like more personal perception of me and Scott.
So this one's gonna be a little bit shorter. It'll be like 5 minutes since we're filming this back to back, so there's nothing that really happened within a day span, so it'll be a little bit shorter, probably about 5 minutes. It just depends on like our filming schedule and stuff. But this is also a perfect time for us to promote new stuff, which I want to go ahead and promote our merchandise shops right now, both teespring.com/stores/SoCal or /Keep Exploring. I changed it from SoCal Exploring, so there wouldn't be that -3. Now it's /stores/Keep Exploring, like what my old slogan was and still is my slogan to this day. And then Losh, the same thing, /stores/LoshTV. On the Keep Exploring merchandise shop, you can find the Horror Nights Unscripted merch. So if you want to purchase Horror Nights Unscripted merch and rock it, and me and Losh will see it. And if you guys post it on Instagram or wherever you post it, we will retweet it, post it in our stories, wherever. Just like
we'll talk about it here.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the podcast. It'll be dope. So definitely check that out. It should be up. I'm kind of renovating the merch shop right now, so it should be up right now. I'm pretty sure by the time you're watching this. If not, it should be up within a couple hours. At least that merchandise there. Where can they find us on our socials? You take over the socials.
All right. So if you want to find Scott on Instagram, it's going to be SoCal Exploring Media. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's going to be LoshTV. Twitter, it's the same thing for Scott. It's going to be SoCal Exploring. For me, it's King Losh, a little bit different. And then our YouTube channels, pretty sure if you just look us up, if you just look up SoCal Exploring, you'll find Scott right away. And if you look up LoshTV, should be the first option. But if not, our links are youtube.com/SoCal Exploring and then youtube.com/C/LoshTV.
And like Losh, it'll be down in the description. And if you type in like SoCal Exploring and LoshTV like together, those will pop up like all of our Horror Nights Unscripted episodes, I'm pretty sure. Usually with whenever I search up my name, even the most common name search that I get is SoCal Space Exploring, which is fair, I get it. It just, to me, aesthetically, it doesn't look nice, so that's why it's all together. And LoshTV has a unique name, so it's gonna pop up. Yeah. But yesterday we did film a podcast with Momo from Spirits and Demons from the East. She was a great guest. I really do like her.
She was super cool. I like talking to her.
She wasn't afraid to talk about like the dark side of things, or like the stuff that no one's supposed to know about, which I guess since she's not returning next year, then she can talk about it. But
it was okay for now.
A lot of characters are like, oh no, we don't want to talk about that, so personal, but like let it out, embrace it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was cool to hear like both good and bad sides of being a scare actor. Like the fact that she worked the job almost the whole day and then went on to go work at night. It's grueling, but she still did it every day.
Yeah, like cool the dedication there is ridiculously good. And it's doing good in views right now, so big thank you. Okay, big thank you to everybody who's viewing the podcast right now, especially Horror Nights Unscripted, because that is ridiculous. It's ridiculously doing good. I mean, bigger than me and Losh ever expected. Like I said, we're on episode 7 already within like a 3-week span. It's ridiculously doing good. I am so happy for it.
And I'm having the time of my life.
Exactly. Like we're having fun. We literally from the time of me and Losh filming for the Keep Exploring podcast and to now, it's just so natural. We have our outlines and stuff, but it's so natural now. It's dope, So definitely thank you guys for the feedback. But for the ones who are making negative comments on some of just videos in general and just theme park community in general, I guess that's a good topic to talk about right now. Is like, come on, like stop, like people are going to go out to the parks. People are going to go out to City Walk or Disney Springs. Don't shame somebody. And if you are going out there on the first day, don't be shamed. Just follow the guidelines, you know? If you want to get out of the
Yeah.
house, don't be ashamed. It's so annoying seeing how people are like going
Just take all the
out.
precautions when you're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, don't be dumb.
Exactly. I don't know, like the way when me and my cousin went to City Walk, was it 2 days ago now?
hmm
Yeah, we went 2 days ago. We followed all the guidelines. At first, I was kind of like skeptical about going, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go, follow the guidelines, have fun. Everyone else was listening to the guidelines, and it was done well. So it's
And
like,
I think one of the big things is to know is that we're all a community right now, especially the theme park and haunt community. We all want the parks to open. We all want the haunts to go on this year. So I feel like the negativity just brings everybody down. And I see it, you know, I see it's mainly Diz Twitter who thinks that they can like pull themselves into Universal drama too, which is kind of
yeah,
ridiculous. It shouldn't be separated like that at all, nor should there be drama at all. But like you guys all know who you're talking, like who I'm talking about right now. All these big accounts that like they're all the same dudes. They all look the same, you know, like they're just like think that they can talk all this crap and they think that they're so powerful. It's so weird. Like I don't understand. They think that they're so powerful in what they say and that whatever they say is right. I don't get it, you know? Like just you should bottom line is you should see it from both sides, right? You should see it from the people saying, "Oh, people are dumb from going out to right now on the first day," which yeah, it could be dumb, but you should also see it from the side of like people just want to get out and have fun and
some
see
people have
it
been
from the
stuck at
middle.
home
Exactly.
without anything to do. Like, yeah, me
Be
and Scott had
optimistic.
essential jobs, and we both had to go to work, so
Mhm.
we were able to get out of the house every day. There's people that have been stuck at home, not able
Yeah,
to do
all the time.
anything.
Exactly.
It's like,
And for the ones who are saying like, "Oh, you want to go outside, then go get an essential job or go work on the front lines." Like, okay, I'll go work on the front lines. I'm fine with it. Like you got to stop. Like the bottom line is you got to stop arguing. Just stop. Everyone's in this together. Like, damn, for
exactly.
fuck's sake, everybody's in this together. Like we're all everyone should be optimistic. And I feel like that's a big reason why we can't have like normal political debates anymore, or like we can't bring up
Yeah,
politics and anything, is because as soon as you bring up politics, like everything hits a fan, you know?
yeah,
Like
that's true.
it's
I don't
because
know. I feel
everyone's so
like,
different.
yeah, no one really wants to have the same views as you. Everyone wants to be opposed to you whenever you say something. No one
If
ever wants
someone
to be sided
disagrees
with
with
you.
one thing, they like just want to be on the opposite side, which sucks. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was our little rant. The bottom line is, if you're going out to the parks, don't be ashamed. If you're sitting at home watching people go to the parks, don't shame people. Everyone be optimistic to everybody because at the end of the day, we're all in this together.
In today's episode, we have a couple of guys that are overall just fun to talk to and big in the Horror Nights community. Scott, who we got?
Well, the three all work together to bring their audience great content between vlogs, podcasts, and much more. And today, they join us to break down our top 5 scare zones of all time at Halloween Horror Nights. Please welcome to the show the creative minds behind TLEV Media.
Hello. Thanks for having
Hi.
us.
How's it going, guys?
Very nice of you guys to say that. Dang.
How are you boys doing today?
How are we doing?
It's a bit hot over here. We've
I
been
know, I'm
locked-
sweating.
Yeah, we've been locked in here for a little bit, but yeah, I mean we're so excited. This is what we've been looking forward to all day. So
I mean,
we're ready.
yeah. I mean, we just filmed a podcast and going into another podcast and
Yeah.
just
So
keep
we're
it. It's just a work day.
We're
so,
warmed up.
yeah.
We're warmed up.
Yeah,
We're ready.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
good, perfect. You guys are warmed up, ready to
Yes.
go talk about some Horror Nights stuff.
For sure.
This is one of the guests that have been requested from my audience for a long time is to have you guys on, and they want to see this crossover. So here's that crossover.
There you go. Here's your
Here we
guys'
are.
crossover. Here's the
Wow.
Marvel crossover that you guys.
Yeah,
needed.
in
You
MCU
guys can
universe.
say that we're picking the brain of the Horror Nights Unscripted, right?
Ah.
There we go.
Creativity. So before you guys talk about because we'll talk about you guys' history with Horror Nights and what you guys do on the channel and everything, but go ahead and plug away.
Ooh, are we doing a little plug right now? Well,
Okay,
of course, Thomas, go ahead and start. Go for
Okay,
it.
so we we started off as just one channel, and then we decided to make multiple channels because we realized that it's really tough on. I'm sure we can all relate that horror is a bit tough on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So if you're building something that's not just specifically horror, then it can be a little bit tough to be implementing other things. So we have 2 channels. We have TLEV Media, which is where we cover all of our theme parks, movies, and these media events. And then we also have TLEV Horror, which is more specifically, our Pick Your Brain podcast, and where we have HHN speculation, and
Not Scary
Farm, all these haunt events,
Dark
right?
Harbor,
Everything horror is on that. So that's your thing, TLEV Horror. If theme parks and interviews is more your thing, then that's TLEV Media.
And all of that is under TLEV Media on social media.
So,
there we go.
And you guys will find it all linked down in the description, all of their socials and YouTube channels down below, as usual for our guests. It's funny that you bring up the how you branch off into a different channel, because horror has been getting difficult. I mean, I know just from yesterday's podcast we uploaded, as soon as I don't know if you guys saw the thumbnail, but it was Momo from HHN.
Yeah.
It got demonetized right away.
Really? Wow.
So I was like, damn. It's like, wow. All right, so that's something.
It's like,
it's tough. Yeah.
We're getting attacked on mostly is the music that we play in the background sometimes like that.
We are in a post-COPPA YouTube era now, so that's what we all are.
It's weird because YouTube's like, okay, we don't want to take money from kids, but we also don't want to have adult content on YouTube. So you gotta kind of meet somewhere in the middle in a way.
Yeah, exactly. That's on the dot right there. Yeah.
But I do like how you guys branch off into TLEV horror. I think that it's really good. I've always tried to think about like branching off too, but it's just I don't have the time for it, and I don't have the man space for it either. You guys have all 3 of you.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's something that we have, that is just like, us 3, we can all focus on those separate channels. I mean, for you, it's you basically, like you're the main front person. So.
Yeah, but it's cool. You guys have grown super fast with TLEV horror, which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it helped.
That's thanks to you.
What helped with that, I think, is that we had the subscribers from TLEV Media just from building from, gosh, what was it, 5 years now?
5 years.
Horror. I think that helped a lot. And then also, people really like, HHN speculations and preparations and maybe this new watch party. I don't know.
Watch parties. Of course, watch parties.
Enjoying that as much. But so I think that's why it's taking off quick right now.
Yeah. Well, it's good for you guys. I'm proud of you guys. It's cool to see you guys growing. I mean, I started at least around the same time that you guys started. So it's like, I've seen you guys grow from, like the old cringy vlogs to being super professional now. It's great. It's really cool.
We all gotta start somewhere.
Exactly. You learn your ways. I mean, you start at something and then
it's all trial and error.
Exactly.
That is exactly it. Yeah. We learned throughout these 5 years. Everything that we've done everything's been growth.
And it shows,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we never thought that we would be able to, do a red carpet kind of thing. I mean, we never thought that we were that kind of professional level. But we got to that point somehow. So
it is funny to look back on it now. Speaking of Horror Nights, okay, so I want to know what your guys' first years, all 3 of you, and your favorite maze of all time. I know we're talking about scare zones today, but what's your favorite maze of all time?
Okay, you want to start?
Easily, Krampus.
But you've been going the longest.
Yeah, I've been and it started off. I was actually really I grew up being kind of afraid of horror. And then one of my friends actually was like, "Hey man, I got an extra ticket to Horror Nights. Do you want to go with us?" And at first I was like, "No, I'm good." And then he goes, "Oh well, we already have the ticket, so it's either you or we're gonna lose the ticket." And I was like, "Well, I gotta go in that case." So I went, and I actually didn't like the first year I went, mostly because I was afraid and I was new to the event. But then it like any addicting thing like caffeine or anything like that, there was something in me that was like, I should probably try that again.
Yeah.
Went back the next year. I was like, it's pretty good. Let's try it again. And then my love for HHN just grew from that.
Yeah, well, so what's you say Krampus?
Krampus is by far.
Rightfully so.
I mean, Krampus was. Oh, that was a great maze. My first year was 2015. You guys took me.
Yeah, so we forced you to do everything.
And we did The Walking Dead first. I remember that we did. It was Walking Dead. Wolves Not Far.
Wolves Not Far. Yeah.
I want to know, getting slightly off topic. Were you afraid when they took you, or
Well,
did you
so
kind of?
I when I got there, I was like, oh, okay, this is okay. This is all right. Then it's when we were towards the front of the line, and we saw the gate, and then the smoke started coming out of. It was Terminus. No?
Yeah.
It was
coming out of Terminus.
And then two walkers came out. I was like, I thought they're supposed to be in the maze.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then that's when I started getting a little nervous. When I get nervous, I start yawning a lot. So it was yawns after yawns. And then, man, when we walked through that, I never jumped so high in my entire life.
I'd say it was harder for you because when we did early entry with him, so he didn't get like the opening scare zone. So it's like there's no easy way to ease his way into it. We immediately started with a maze.
And the longest maze.
Yeah,
the longest maze. Yeah.
That Terminus was really long.
Oh yeah, that's one of the.
It was to date. It's the longest maze ever.
And that was the first time we saw John Murdy, no?
That was from afar.
From afar. But yeah, so 2015. My favorite maze though is probably Insidious 2017.
Okay, yeah.
The 4 scares at the end.
Yes.
That was amazing. I think. Yeah, that was because then 2016 was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2015 that you did.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm getting it mixed up.
Yeah.
No, not 2015. No, 2017. No, 2017 is the 4 scare straight, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Not the one where you pushed us.
No.
Okay.
That one. Yeah, that was. I did push them out at one.
Yeah. In 2015, when it was red lipstick demon.
Yeah.
And it was and the Bride in Black, and then it was Man Who Can't Breathe Well.
Yeah.
When they were all coming from the different corners, Josue and I were just frozen like in fear, and he pushed us out of the maze.
I was like, go! I don't want this. You know, but yeah, no. So 2017 Insidious is my favorite one. Yeah.
So for me, it was because of Josue. I met him in August 2013. We went to the same high school. We were in AP Environmental Science together. He was talking to a couple of his friends about Halloween Horror Nights. And I remembered hearing about it like previous years, so I decided. I mean, you were like forcing me out of the classroom to go with you. So 2013 was my first year. In terms of favorite maze, probably Universal Monsters from 2018. It was the music combination with the lighting and the different monsters. It was. Because before then it was Clowns 3D was my favorite maze because of the vomit smell and seeing Sweet Licks and all of that. But I think that Universal Monsters just had that more because of such different music score than just one song on repeat.
You enjoyed the vomit smell.
I enjoyed the vomit smell.
Yeah, that's kind of an odd thing to say.
I miss the smells. I really do miss the smells.
That's true. We
all miss the smells at Hollywood.
Absolutely.
But
That Exorcist.
Oh gosh! Oh my gosh! Yeah. I think for us it was American Horror Story that just.
Oh god! American Horror Story.
That was so bad. Damn, that was the strongest smell we ever had. Yeah.
So Josue forced Thomas to go, and then Thomas forced. Do you go by Tim or Timothy?
So I go by Tim, but on the YouTube I go by Mr. E mainly. Yeah. I just like keeping it that way because I'm worried that when we meet people, they're gonna feel like super close with us. And like when I hear Tim, yeah, no. I mean, you could call me Tim if you want, but I'm just like it's like when people are just coming up to us and like, hey Tim, I'm like
he likes to keep the persona.
Exactly.
Like, I think it's cool because you kind of established that like everyone knows you as Mr. E.
Yeah, exactly. So but anyways, yes, you were saying, Scott.
Oh yeah, so Josue forced Thomas to go. Thomas forced Mr. E to go.
Basically.
Yes.
That's what it was. That's how it happened. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we're gonna dive right into the scare zones. I, for one, have a very interesting list. I know Losh has got an interesting list. So since Losh is from Orlando, you guys who are watching this will kind of get a glimpse of what Orlando scare zones are like too. We can't really relate because none of us have been to Orlando besides Losh. Are you guys planning to go to Orlando this year?
We shall see.
Yeah,
it's
all TBD right now.
Yeah.
We were really looking forward to it, and we decided like plans and stuff were already getting set in motion, and then the whole
COVID.
the whole COVID thing,
Mhm.
and so now it's kind of TBD right
Yeah.
now.
For us, at least, yeah.
Yeah.
For us, it's
Yeah.
TBD. But as it looks at like how Orlando is already sending in their amusement park plans to the
Mhm.
government or to the
To
governor,
state, yeah.
state
yeah.
governor. It looks like they could be doing
Yeah, man.
getting farther ahead kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, TBD, I would say. Yeah.
Well, we shall see. But yeah, Losh, let's kick it off with you, and then we'll go to you guys, and then we'll loop back around with me, starting with number 5. And this is of all time. This isn't of just one year. This is
Yes.
of
yes.
all time.
Yeah.
So
Go
we're
ahead,
each
Losh.
doing one, right? We're going
Yeah,
5.
yeah, one at a
and
time.
4. Okay, gotcha,
Cool.
gotcha.
That was good.
So it's a full circle. We're just gonna keep going round and round.
Absolutely, let's do
Alright.
it.
All
Yep.
right. All right, cool. So my number 5 was the first time I ever got to see any icons in a scare zone.
Okay.
Mm.
So basically like storyteller, usher, director,
Mm-hmm.
so on and so forth in icons, HHN. It was in Hollywood. You guys know where Hollywood Boulevard is?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
in the park. There, it was different than anything I've ever seen before. Because being able to see every single icon on a stage was cool to me. I don't know if you guys can like
I
correlate
do
with
wish
like
that
the
we could
icons
have
or
something like
not.
that in Hollywood.
'Cause,
Yeah.
like,
I think
I don't know,
when we
like, the
saw
only thing I could,
Hollywood
like-
Harry was a cool time. That was our icon.
Yeah.
It's like I've talked to Scott before about it, like icon wise.
yeah.
You guys have Hollywood Harry, and I considered Sweet Licks an icon. I don't know if you would, but
Ooh.
That's what Losh has this crazy idea to have a Hollywood Harry versus Sweet Licks maze.
Whoa.
You know what? That's come across like in my head just because we always see the Sweet Licks trucks like
That's
every year. It's a
true.
Yeah.
real prop. So
That's-
he's around somewhere.
He's around.
Yeah.
He's
Hanging
around.
out. Yeah.
I think there's potential there. I think it could
That
work.
could
Can happen.
that could be so
Yeah.
cool.
But
Alright.
okay, so what was the name of the scare zone, Losh?
icon/HHN. It was a weird name.
Oh,
It was just icon.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, respect.
And
Moving on to you,
which
Josue.
Which year was this?
2015.
2015.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh damn! You guys are doing years. Damn.
Oh well, here I have the year.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm not the best with years, but
Well, you know this year.
I'll
Yeah.
help you. I'll
You
help
know that,
I'll
yeah.
help.
yeah.
I'll
so
help you.
my number 5 is gonna go to Spirits and Demons of the East
Oh, that
from
was-
last
Yeah, that
year.
was last year.
Okay.
Definitely something different, with the 4 bipedal, or no, the quad pedal stilt walker, and
Yeah.
it's definitely a different vibe that I got from that scare zone
Mm.
itself. It also, yeah, I mean the crackhead was amazing, but it also stood out by itself, and it also like flowed really well with the event. Like I didn't know where Fallen Angels started
Mhm.
and Spirits and Demons began because
Right.
it was so intertwined together.
Mhm.
And I thought that was
together.
they worked together so well. So
Mhm.
Spirits and Demons.
Could
wins.
you count that? Would you, in your opinion, would you count that as one big scare zone?
I would count that as one big scare zone.
Because the thing is with that is they like what we saw with Trick or Treat, it was a little more established with Trick or Treat, but it's like last year in specific, they kind of all just meshed together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two. I mean,
Yeah.
I was fine with it. I think those two were, because imagine if it was like Trick or Treat and then Spirits and Demons from the East.
That does look really weird.
That would have been so weird.
Which like,
Yeah.
and I feel like in previous years, it's like from the entrance of Universal all the way down to New York Street, that's always been just one scare zone, and now they're kind of doing the 2 scare zones divided.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's because they just want more character development. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe
Mm.
more ideas.
That is a very big zone. I guess you can't have the same characters running around.
Exactly. No, you're right. All right, my number 5. So my number 5 goes to Halloween in 2017,
Mhm.
mainly because of one character that I really enjoyed or I think there was multiple of them like that. They had their pumpkin heads,
Mhm.
and they had like the guts of the pumpkin
Yes.
coming out of their
Yes,
mouth.
yes.
They were wearing overalls, orange, and I think there was some
It's
other
like
color
black, it's like
overalls.
striped.
And they had their chainsaws. Those were cool.
Yes.
The teddy bears. The teddy bears were really cool.
awesome.
What else was in that scare zone?
Wasn't there also?
There was the ghosts. Right?
Yes.
The ghosts were in
Yes.
that. Yeah, but that's my number 5. I think Halloween was really good. That was the upper lot, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Yeah.
That scare zone, especially for a year like 2017.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We just leave it at
it
that.
felt nice. It felt
It felt
nice to
nice,
have
it felt
something
nice.
there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's mine.
So my number 5 is gonna go to Dark Christmas in 2014. So Dark Christmas really was, I mean, for the history of Dark Christmas was that we had it 2014, 2015, then Krampus in 2016, right? That's really what the theming was. So it was our little taste before. It was I was about to say Bleecker Street, no, Baker Street, where it was and it was a lot of fun seeing these demented versions of Christmas, and of course the Christmas music playing throughout all of it. And I miss having scare zones in that area. I think that's why I chose this one that's in Baker Street. That now they no longer have scare zones there.
Pets Place now.
Exactly,
yeah. Rest in peace, Baker Street.
Yeah,
we're calling it Pets Place, or are we gonna go
Pets
with
Place.
Slot Place?
I'd like to consider Baker Street from like where New York Street starts to all the way to the Cinnabon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
it's a very small
in
Baker
memory.
Street.
In memory now. Yeah. But yeah, so Dark Christmas was a lot of fun. I mean, R.I.P.
My number 5, just like Mr. E, Halloween.
There we go.
I mean, like, come on, it's a classic vintage like twist to Halloween, and we don't see that a lot at Horror Nights in specific because they're more focused on IPs and like original ideas.
Yeah,
so whenever you have like that vintage kind of theme around Halloween, I really do enjoy it. And like I said, at least we had that in 2017.
There you go.
But that's all on that.
There you go.
But yeah, there we go. So that's our number 5. Yeah.
That's number
4. Losh, start it off.
Number 4. All right. So this one is also from 2015.
Okay.
It was in San Francisco. It's All Night Die-In double feature. So this was basically.
I remember this.
We heard about this.
There was 2 types of cast. There was the black and white cast, which was like the old, like not gritty.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow. Like old grayscale, like monsters, like Frankenstein, Wolfman, Dracula, Invisible Man, all those people.
Yeah.
And then there was the other cast, which was like Chucky, his bride. It was a modern horror. Just put it modern horror. The strangers were there as well. And it was the setup for it was cool because it was like a drive-in. So they had the big screen, and then they had like cars all over the place. And that's not a big scare zone location, but they did the most with like the space they had.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Dang. That's good.
See, Orlando is like known for doing like their original scare zones, huh?
Yeah.
That's
Like
I mean, like the whole. I mean, I'm assuming you're gonna have one of the vamps on your list. I think those are such like my favorite.
You're starting to assume right now.
I'm assuming. But those are some like the creativity behind those scare zones are just so much fun. But
yeah.
Okay.
You're up, kiddo.
My number 4, also last year, is a Toxic Tunnel.
Oh goodness.
Definitely my favorite iteration of the Toxic Tunnels, mostly because they went with this kind of rockabilly mechanic vibe, and I think instead of there was like a dubstepy song at one point, right?
Yeah, but these songs were
it was more of like a
heavy
hard
metal
rock,
kind of thing.
rockabilly vibe.
Yeah.
So it's like super cool, and I'm totally with that whole rockabilly like scene. So definitely like that appealed to me in a pretty good way. And I
like
totally
how they
feel
actually
lost
tried
in
to
there.
do a storyline with it this time.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Like it sucks that they can't have props in there, and I understand because it's a service tunnel. But like even like props on wheels, like put them out there.
That'd be cool, right?
There you go. Yeah, my number 4 also goes to Toxic Tunnel. Yeah, 2019. I think the face masks this year were so much better than years before. Frankie was so cool looking. The whole, I think you could really see to me, this year you could really see the people in Toxic Tunnel enjoyed it much more. They were so hyped, at least when we would go. The music, like you said, the music was good. I don't think I wasn't as bothered with the lights this time as like before. I don't think they did as many flashes as
strobe
effects as
it
they
did feel like it was toned down a little bit.
It was toned down a little, huh? Right?
Yeah, and again, I think it's due to the fact that they changed the music because like dubstep naturally just flashing lights and stuff like that. But with a more rockish thing, you'd have to slow that down just a
Gotcha.
little bit.
One thing I do wish I saw was the opening of when they open Toxic Tunnel, because I hear that it's pretty cool. But yeah, that's something I missed. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
because
that's my
if-
number 4.
If you guys didn't know who are watching, like they have opening, like unofficial opening ceremonies for the tunnel and sometimes the backlot scare zones too.
Yeah.
And they're actually like some I've seen. I think it was one year that they did Urban Inferno. I like that one a little bit more than the actual one. So that's really
there
neat.
you go.
Because that was also the year that Halloween was there, but they moved the opening ceremony, so it was like.
Yeah.
eh.
It's true. It was
that's
on the other
right.
side because they were.
I forgot to
working
mention
on,
that.
Shrek 4D,
They were
that's
changing
why,
Shrek
yeah.
4D to.
Oh, I totally forgot
DreamWorks,
about the ceremony was on the other side. Yep.
Oh, that was so crowded. We can't be that crowded this year, that's for sure.
Oh, there was the baby pumpkin in Halloween.
That's right.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
So mine is number 4 is the granddaddy to the one that you're both talking about. That goes to 2015's Exterminators.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Exterminators was in the upper lot. It very much the reason why I say Losh, the reason why I say that it was the granddaddies because it was that style of like dressed up in the same like the jumpsuits that they were on.
Yeah.
My favorite creature that was there was this I guess plumber with like a ball of filth in his mask, so it was just massive, grotesque. It looked like a nest coming out of his mouth. And he was just walking around with like a plunger. It was just that was my favorite creature to see him walking around. Even just like the mutant aspects of it, like becoming the creatures.
I think one of my favorite parts was those people, the exterminators walking around with their sprays, like when they're exterminating, so they would shoot you with like water mist and stuff like that. That was cool. Yeah.
I like the one where the rats were infesting his face. Like they had like.
yes.
That was dope. That was a really. Did you guys see Murdy tweeted about the concept art for the 4-legged back then?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I saw,
roach,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That would have been so cool.
Nice.
No, I think when we always see like the concept art as like say at like Midsummer and stuff like that, you know, it hypes us up, and then it either is a disappointment, like when it comes to seeing the actual character,
Well,
or
it really
it's like
depends, you know.
that's what I'm saying, or it's like it worked perfect.
Because like the concept art they did for Holidays in Hell when it came to a maze.
that was
basically one for one.
No,
So,
and
like,
that was
like,
perfect. Yeah.
dope.
No, I definitely get what you're saying though, because some of those concept arts, like where they're I forget the exact name for them, but when they're showing them at the conventions and then you actually experience it, it's like that didn't really look like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's mainly in the scare actors design, not the actual maze design. It's more mainly in the scare actor design than anything.
Yeah. Exactly.
But my number 4 is I just close out of it. Monster Masquerade. From Universal Monsters maze that was here in 2018. They had, and we've seen this with Holidays in Hell last year too. It's technically a part of the maze, but also listed as a scare zone. So I really liked how they played into kind of the classic monsters, had this ball and the music in it and everything. It was really neat. It was also neat to see the monsters outside rather than just inside of the maze.
I love when they do that with the maze connecting to a scare zone. I mean, it's just so smooth.
Yeah.
You know.
And it worked well. I feel like it really transitioned good.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I love
That bumps us to our number 3.
All right, so number 3.
Wait, we're on number 3, right?
Yes, we're on number 3.
Okay.
So, Thomas, I'm sorry to break your heart.
Oh,
Vamp isn't on my list.
Yes,
I wanted to include it
context,
so bad.
I think Vamp's overrated.
All right. To be fair, I loved both iterations. Like I love Vamp 55 and then Vamp 85. But if I were to put one on my list, it would have been Vamp 85.
Right.
But then I started thinking there was a scare zone that I like loved in 2018, which was Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh yes, you lucky people.
Well, I mean, your house was better from what I've seen.
What? Was it?
Well, it was.
That's what I've heard. That's just what I've
Some
heard.
that are better,
But
you
you
guys
guys
have
had
the
a whole
Clownzilla though.
Yeah.
I mean, Clownzilla was dope though.
Here's the thing. I always say that. Is like I love their Killer Clowns, but their Clownzilla tops us.
You guys had this epic Clownzilla.
Yeah, and I think the fact that like what you're about to talk about, the scare zone, like if there was anything about the house that didn't like top off, it was the fact that
you guys had a scare zone. Yeah.
The scare zone was dope. They had these bubbles, like they were filled with fog that smelled just like popcorn.
Oh damn. That's
Yeah,
so
dude,
cool.
it was like I remember opening night. I walked by. I'm like, yo, it smells like popcorn, but I know there's no popcorn stands here. And I was like, oh, there's bubbles. Okay.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Oh my gosh.
Okay? Now I'm curious about what your 2 and 1 are. Okay.
Yeah, we will get there. Young title. Yeah.
My turn.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm kind of cheating with number 3.
Oh, here we go.
This is my only one that I have a stipulation with because I'm grouping them all together, and I'm also including Cirque du Clown, but clowns. The many iterations of clowns that have come. This was way before back then. This is when we still had the flame towers and the stage, and we had the announcer. You rest in peace, all those things. I absolutely loved clowns just because, I mean, it's just so classic. Definitely, it's one of those things that, like, well, you can count that clowns was going to be there with the Z, you know, because everything's scary with the Z.
Everything with a Z.
And, I mean, the announcers were always my favorite part. Because they would, like, you know, they would hype you up. They'd be talking all this smack about you, about the people walking in with, you know, the clown army going through. I thought those were, like, my absolute favorite, like, you know, number. It fit for number 3 for clowns. But yeah, definitely clowns, classic clowns, and I hope they bring clowns back, or you know, killer clowns. That'd be cool too.
So my number 3 can go to none other than Spirits and Demons of the East.
Oh, okay.
Now this scare zone, I think I enjoy it so much because this is the one scare zone that I spent an hour or more in when I went with you. I think it was 80s night or something like that.
We did spend like a
We
good
spent
hour
a great time out there, and we could see just how much it takes for scare actors to do what they do.
What they do.
The love with, I think one of the greatest things we saw was the 2 chainsaw guys coming out and doing their like little show before they turn on their chainsaws. That was amazing. Crackhead, of course. We love Crackhead. Crackhead is our favorite. I don't even know what his character's name was.
He was like, I don't remember.
He was like the dragon.
Yeah.
The mustache.
He's
infamous.
Well, I guess he's infamous because of the.
He's infamous for that video.
He's like subpar famous in Hornet's character history.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's out there now. But yeah, that whole scare zone I think was great. The music was really good too. It was like you had the drums in the back of like the Asian music. Please make it a maze. I am waiting for that to happen.
It'd be such a good maze.
It's something I'm looking forward to. I hope it becomes a maze. I've been saying it, and I'm hopeful. So yeah, that's my number 3. You're up, kiddo.
I am. I don't know if I want to change it right now or not.
I think you hit him really hard, Losh, with the whole no having Vamp.
Yeah, no Vamp.
You really made him distraught.
Dang. No. Originally, I was going to say Toxic Tunnel, its second iteration.
Oh,
Toxic Tunnel.
Yeah, just the 2 X's. Just the 2 X's.
Okay, so not 3, just 2.
And because I enjoyed that a lot. Our scare actor buddies were in that one. They were, of course, working their hearts out. I remember them showing us like their little ceremony where one of them literally did like a flip over the other right as the lights turned on. It looked really, really cool. Yeah, strobe effects were an issue, but I enjoyed it a lot. But changing it.
So you just hit us with an honorable mention.
That was like an honorable mention.
That was a little fill-in.
There you go. I'm gonna hit y'all with a 2016 Purge Everything.
Well,
that's
okay.
right.
Really?
I respect that.
You enjoyed that?
Everything.
Okay.
I enjoyed it because
it was the first time Purge did something.
My favorite thing that we recorded when we were in the upper lot was there was these like 2 girls. They were eating like by the restaurant that's like right next to where the new Harry Potter shop is. Do you remember that little restaurant? It's like right next to where the Waterworld queue is and everything.
Oh, kind of like the basic place where you can get like chicken tenders and stuff.
Exactly, right. So it's like, yeah. I mean, it's whatever, right? But there was this pair. One was wearing an elephant mask and one was wearing a donkey mask. And the elephant mask scare actor turned to them and decided he was gonna sit with them. And he just sat there and he just like inched a little bit closer. And they were like, you know, they weren't sure what to do, but he was just looking at them. And like it was a love story. It really was like, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because it was like, yeah, The Purge, I'm not a big fan of that property, especially its later iterations. But
shout out the Forever Purge.
Exactly, the Forever Purge. But the fact that it was like, you know, the entire event was Purge themed.
Was that the
like,
first year of Purge?
No, it wasn't.
2015.
No. 2013 was the first year
God.
of Purge.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was here
like,
for a while.
Yeah, maybe it's like retrospect being a little nostalgic right now, but I thought it was cool that like for 1 year, I wish that was it. After that, there was no more Purge. There was a little bit more after that, but you know what? In terms of like middle of the road, sure, let's give Purge some mention.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed the thing about that year is the gauntlet in the upper lot.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
well done.
Really
Really
well
well done.
The gauntlet's so good.
That was so cool. I don't know how they work now with HHN crowds, because obviously the demographics way larger. Back then they could kind of get away with it and not have a queue line for it.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
I definitely enjoyed Purge all year, but like I said, I wish it wasn't there afterwards.
Would have been a nice send off, but
Speaking of my number 3, that does relate to Purge, but mine is Purge from the very first year, 2013.
Okay.
Scare Zone 1, only because, you know, it was new, the Purge was a big thing that year, and it was just cool to see. So it was cool to see for that 1 year. After that, I was like, whatever. But the first year, it just felt like the actors were so into it, and the actors are always into it. The first year just felt like they were really into it that year. The opening ceremony was one of the best opening ceremonies I've ever experienced, because playing the Purge soundtrack and the Purge alarm, that gets you hyped up so much.
There you go.
So that is my number 3 is Purge the first year in 2013.
It was based off the first movie, right?
Yeah, it was all the normal
mask
masks and everything.
Okay, yeah. I would have liked that.
I think the second one was their ceremony was
Yep,
my
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
2016, that scary money?
Yeah.
I never saw that scary money.
No, you didn't.
The 2016 ceremony was really cool because I think they stopped it after a while where they'd pick up the girl and like twist her neck. Yeah.
Oh. Right. Yeah. Well, that happens.
Yeah, Losh. They actually twisted someone's neck every night.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Just a human sacrifice every night.
Uh-huh.
That's
Odds
what
of more
makes
nights.
HHN so awesome.
It's just. All right, so we're going to number 2.
Yes,
Number 2.
sir.
All right, so like Mr. E said, a lot of like interaction, you know, a lot of fun, like actors being there with you. Revenge of Chucky from 2018.
Revenge of Chucky.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
Okay, so when I was a young Horror Nights fan, before I started going to the event, I used to watch Chucky's Insult Emporium.
Nice.
The boss.
And the day that I heard that this was announced for like Orlando, I was like, we better have some kind of Insult Emporium, whatever. When I got there opening day, and I saw the Chuckmeister just sitting there, I almost cried. But that didn't even beat it. He started roasting us.
Yes. There you go.
So I have my friend Nico, tall guy, curly hair, looks like a mop. So Chucky called him over, asked him what he does with his life. He said he takes care of dogs. Chucky told him to bring him the dogs. So we're good friends with Chucky now, I guess.
Bring in the dogs.
There we go.
Bring him the dogs. He let us walk by, but then said we were Miami trash. But, you know, it's fine.
Oh, man.
When they had Insult Emporium down here in Hollywood, they were so ruthless. So I'm happy because I watched a couple clips. It didn't seem like, obviously nowadays you have to hold back a little bit, but it seemed like he was still pretty ruthless.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
80s night, right? That was
Which even in the
They did for
80s
80s
night,
night?
but that was like way more tame than it was
Yeah.
back when it was like
Yeah.
the
He was
No,
keeping
that
it
was
tame.
super.
No,
That was
he was
super
like,
tame.
He was savage back then.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
No,
it.
and the thing with that ours last year is for those of you guys who don't remember Throwback Thursdays, we actually had Chucky and like the front. He was at the very top of like a building. So that was also one of those things, or the connection wasn't as close and personal, I guess.
True. Yeah. You know what they should do? They should have Donkey come out from Shrek. Bring the animatronic and he's the one who Donkey's insulting for you. There you go.
Oh my god.
I pay to see that.
I would prefer
Yo, I'll pay to see that too. I'll fly over to Hollywood.
insulted for you.
Mr. Ping would be great.
I would love Mr. Ping. There we go. He's already kind of roasting us every time we see
Yeah,
him.
dude,
Yeah.
Mr. Ping's a meme, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
get
he
the-
is pretty mean. Yeah.
The secret ingredient is your tears.
Nice. There you go. All right, good sir. You're up. Number 2.
Me. Number 2 goes to Dark Christmas, the one before Krampus,
Oh, so 2015.
2015.
Gotcha.
Because again, as all like HHN fandom goes, it's always been that since Dark Christmas like started being a scare zone, everybody was like, when are we getting a maze like this? And then 2016 was just like, oh man, I really want a maze, a Dark Christmas maze, and then boom, we got Krampus the next year.
Yep.
But again, this was just like one of those fan favorite mazes that it was just like, it was cool to see like Jack Frost and you know all this classic beloved holiday just twisted on a whole nother level, and like the kids in cages. I thought that was great.
I mean, we still see them reuse the kids in cages now. With,
Right.
Yeah, but like that's just a throwback.
That's where it
to Dark
started. Yeah,
Christmas.
no, exactly.
Or like the reindeer that was just skin and bones.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Which and that is one of the like original ideas that Horror Nights is reused. They've done really good with, because we saw Dark Christmas for 2 years, then we saw Krampus, which was a movie, and then we saw Holidays in Hell, which is kind of playing into that same concept, and then we saw it into a maze. So they've done really good at keeping that alive.
Although I would say that Holidays in Hell, the maze, the Christmas part was kind of disappointing.
It
Yeah,
was.
it was short. It was short.
And like he was like almost never there.
Yeah, I never saw
He was
Santa
having
Claus.
fun in the scare zone, but would never be like in the.
He was never in the maze.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Never saw him.
My number 2, just because I don't remember as much, except for the characters' masks and stuff like that, goes to Corpse, World War I, 2016. Corpse was a really good maze. I think the soldiers' outfits. I really remember the nurse. So the nurse with the white gown and the heads. I don't even know, what do they call them.
Just call it a hat.
It's just a
Yeah,
nurse hat.
it's
Yeah,
just
no,
a nurse
the
hat.
nurse hat. It was the lady that walked around all zombified. The soldiers looked really cool. You would hear the sounds of the war around and stuff like that.
I remember.
That was really cool. I think Corpse deserves to be up there.
Mm.
What's the maze that came out before this? Wasn't it World War I based or World War II based? Wasn't there a maze?
Corpse was World War I based.
Corpse was World War One.
Wasn't there a maze that came out that
No.
had anything to do with
No.
any of that? No,
No, I believe that was the year that
not that
the
same
maze
year, no.
in
Wait, what was the maze?
in Parisian Courtyard actually exited at the back,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you could
Oh
go
yeah.
into Baker
Baker
or
Street,
into
yeah.
French Street, but
Yeah.
you couldn't it didn't curve into French Street.
Because
That's
wasn't
right,
it
that's
Halloween
right.
in that spot that year? I think.
No, because
It was-
Halloween was kind of pushed
Yeah.
like at the very far back. You still
Yeah.
had to exit out French Street though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyways, Corpse, my number 2.
Nice. My number 2 goes to Masquerade from 2014. Masquerade was a lot of fun, so I mean it's no surprise to anybody who watches our stuff. Mystery and I were French, so to see already representation at the event at French Street, seeing the French Revolution. What are they gonna do? The monarchs are gonna eat the people. So it was just cannibalism, but it was dressed in very 18th century get-ups, where the big wigs and the big dresses, and they were just.
It was lit.
It was a fun party. I talked to all the scare actors in French. I don't think any of them understood what I was saying to them, but I mean, it was.
They're like, dude, we're just here to spook you. Stop.
Exactly.
We're not that much into character.
Exactly, yeah. So, but it was a lot of fun. Definitely, that's like my first memory of a scare zone. I remember in 2013 with one of the scare actors dressed like the girls like in all white, chasing me with a knife. But like my first full memory of like actually enjoying a scare zone was Masquerade.
Cool. Honorable mention. Speaking that we're talking a lot about French Street. You guys remember? I forget when they stopped it, but like the VIP like kind of scare zone area. I know you won't, Losh. I see you shaking your head over there. But There was like kind of like so for you, Losh, we have our French Street, and then there's like a little overlook where you can see like the whole valley and the lower lot. It's also the smoking area. There was like a mini scare zone there.
Yep, I remember
Was
that.
Yeah.
there really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like really there was like 2 scare actors in there, but it was there.
that's
yeah, yeah.
cool.
There was a lot of prop there, like
Yeah.
props that, like, yeah.
It was a nice little touch. It was cool.
Mhm. They really like, nook and cranny. Might as
Yeah,
well
they
throw
used
something
no,
in
they
there.
used the space really well.
Yeah. I still say they should do a Demented Minions scare zone, but
They got the properties. I mean, come on.
exactly. Number
Give the people
2
what they
for
want.
me is one that Josue brought up earlier, which is clowns. Now, same thing. Every single aspect of clowns, whenever they used it, I enjoyed it so much. The opening ceremony for it was unlike any other opening ceremony, and I'm saying that a lot, but they're all have their unique ways.
Mhm.
Clowns was just it really was the before transition into now modern Universal Studios compared to the older version of Universal Studios. I loved it. I love clowns as a theme no matter what. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Clowns 3D. I love it. It was fun, and it scared the hell out of everybody that came because most people, their number one fear is clowns.
There you go. Yeah.
That's funny. You love Clowns 3D, but that's your fear.
I think that's why. It's
I've told John many times that his event is very therapeutic for me because it puts me face to face with my fears.
So you don't have any intentions of running up to John with wooden spoons?
oh,
No,
you
no,
gotta pull up
definitely.
cotton ball, cotton
Yeah,
ball, cotton
yeah,
ball.
there you go. Yeah.
Do you know that context, Losh?
No, I'm confused. What's going on?
So at Midsummer 2018, John made it a big point that his number one phobia was cotton balls and wooden spoons. Don't know why.
That's so
Like, he
weird.
doesn't know either. He's just like, I don't know why. Just
That's
cotton balls and wooden
I'm
spoons.
assuming the texture.
That's just weird, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's gonna make a maze one day. He's just gonna call it cotton balls and wooden spoons.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't.
Walls of
Won't
cotton.
say anything about the maze. It's just like that's the last maze thrown out there.
Chris
What
Williams
is
did this all
this?
by himself.
Oh
I
god, the
don't know.
demented mind of Chris Williams.
Oh man.
All right.
Number
your
one.
favorite scare zone of all time.
All right.
Oh,
So, let me just explain why Vamp's not here. Just to be fair.
Oh, okay.
So Vamp's beautiful, has great storytelling, and it was cool to see like in '55 the jocks and all the parade, all like the big parade float or whatever, and then in '85 it was cool to see everyone come back.
Right.
However, I have a favorite horror movie,
Ooh.
and the day I got to see this turn into a scare was the coolest day of my life.
Ooh.
It was Trick or Treat.
Oh,
I
yes.
forgot about that. I forgot about that completely.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Now, this was before we had a house, and I knew we've always wanted Trick or Treat to be at Horror Nights in general. Like the fan base wants it.
Right.
Well, wanted it. We got it. But when I finally got to see Sam, I was like, "Yo, this guy's beautiful." Yeah, beautiful. And I don't know if you guys ever saw videos from like our scare zone
Yes. Oh
for
my
Trick or
God,
Treat.
The
There was
pumpkin
like
trees. Oh my goodness.
like the little like front house displays, and then there was this giant mime who wouldn't say a word, but he had a squeaker in his hand. So he'd just come by and just squeak squeak as like he's scaring you, and it was just every time
So
he just catch
random.
me off guard. I know he has the squeaker, but he'll just be like squeak squeak, and I'm like, ugh, stop it. And we had like the big, the big pumpkin that burst in fire in
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
That was like behind a wall, and it was there in the scare zone, and just seeing that take off like every like 45 minutes was pretty awesome to see too.
Yeah. Well done.
Damn,
well
I
done.
wish
Great
they could-
pick. Great
Yeah,
pick.
wish we had
I
a
forgot
scare
about
zone
that
like that for
completely.
Trick or Treat.
Yeah. Oh
I
my
wish
goodness.
we
Yeah,
did.
no, I understand why Vamp didn't make the cut.
Get your trash. Okay, my number one actually goes to a maze that Mr. E put on his number two. Mine goes to Corpse 2016.
Okay.
I have a like this like love of like I don't love war, but like I'm interested in
The
the
history
world wars
of
and
World
stuff
War,
like
yeah.
that. And so when they came up with the idea of Corpse, that it's World War I base, and they decorated French Street with like the walls kind of looked like trenches. And he was like, they even went forward as saying that they would have yellow gas so that it would replicate mustard gas, which was that type of warfare that was happening at that time. And you obviously you had the zombie soldiers and the nurses, and it all was just so surreal to me, because it's like, oh, I've pictured something like this coming to Horror Nights before, and now it's coming right in front of me. It's a thing. So for me, that's just something in my furthest imagination, and they brought it to life. Yeah. So to me, that's been my all-time favorite scare zone is Corpse.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm about to top that. No.
No. I'm gonna let you finish.
My number one goes to Holidays in Hell in 2018. All right.
Okay.
This scare zone was one of the best scare zones in the backlot.
Yeah. There you go.
I think how we went through all the holidays. Especially my favorite part was probably the Dios de los Muertos.
Yes.
Where you had the sounds of like throw up behind for some.
No, that's Cinco de Mayo that has the throw.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, and then it was Dios de los Muertos.
Yeah, with the neon.
Yeah, with the skeleton. That was cool.
And then they also played Tequila.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Tequila.
Oh my God, I love that addition to it.
That was awesome. The Cupid was cool. Cupid was just like this big old beefy guy who was just like
Cupid was Danny DeVito.
Basically Danny DeVito. Yeah. No, I think it was so well done, and then just making it a maze that helped it so much more. With music by Figure, never forget.
Music by Figure.
Wow. But yeah, Holidays in Hell, number one, in my heart, always. What?
Don't stop your
Are we the same thing?
Holidays in Hell is also my number one.
See, you can't top me, bro.
All right. Yes. My favorite part, he filmed it, was the part when it's supposed to be St. Patrick's Day when they're playing. What's the name of the song?
I never.
Shipping Off to Boston.
Yeah, Shipping Off to Boston. It was like the strobe effects were amazing. Then seeing Uncle Sam like half blown off. And then like bringing back like the Purge sets, that was like a really cool way of doing that.
Was good.
Oh my God, the Easter Bunny!
Oh my
awesome.
goodness. And then seeing
turkey.
Yeah. The pilgrim. Yeah, we loved that. That was amazing.
The turkey was great.
Yeah.
It was, and because like they brought it back as I didn't like the maze as much as I liked the scare zone.
Well,
the scare zone, because to me, oddly enough, I felt like the scare zone flowed better than the maze did in terms of transitioning to the different holidays. Like even though it was a lot shorter, a lot more of just like snippets of each holiday, right? Like you didn't even have like a character for New Year's, but you did in the maze. I still liked the scare zone way more. Seeing the different holidays, and then the creatures on their stilts were just beautiful. Yeah. I think that always whenever you walk through those arches and you look up at the stilt walker, I think it's always just an amazing sight. And then you just go in and you're in the back lot, and like you're on the set where movies are, and it's like, so Holidays in Hell, definitely number one. It was just well done.
Well done.
I can definitely see what you're saying about a transition better, because I feel like with the maze, they just try to take the scare zone and drop it right into an indoor space. Yeah. That works more in a scare zone than anything.
Yeah.
I could see what you're saying there, but my number one is one that has been brought up the most out of this whole podcast. Dark Christmas. Dark Christmas. Both years. We've talked about it. It is one of the coolest scare zones ever. You get to see not only Krampus on stilts, but Krampus like eye to eye with you. So that was cool, and that was a cool transition into the 2016 maze. Yeah. We see some of the characters that have returned, like in last year's Holidays in Hell, Jack Frost, one of my favorite scare actors of all time. Really like it. And I don't know, there's just something about a sick and twisted Christmas. You call me weird, but it really worked out very good, and in Pet's place,
Pets
Yes,
Place.
it's Pets Place.
God, rest in peace, Baker Street.
We'll see you off someday. Maybe we'll have the mented dogs coming in and
Oh my god. Yes.
you find your forever home and then they take it away.
There we go.
Ouch.
Wait, call me
It
crazy,
says
right?
that on, like when you're entering the scare zone.
Hold
We
on,
found
hold
it.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
All right. Dog place, puppy place, whatever you want to call it, right? Werewolves with a Z.
Ooh, werewolves with a Z.
As long as there's like a werewolf head with like a dangling minion off of it.
Just take all
No,
the
it's just a
illumination
werewolf with a dog collar, but it's just a minion goggle hanging off the dog collar
With the eye still in it, yes.
with the
Dude.
eye still in it. Boom, there it is.
Well, what's funny is you can see Universal is like getting like they got gruesome with Jurassic World, like in the Predator Cove area. Like I was like, wow, where the
the
blood
blood
splattered
pit,
all over the place.
right?
Oh my
Which
gosh.
now it seems like they're replacing all that, which I was
Yeah.
kind of upset, right?
I know.
Is that what's going on? Like I've been
Yeah, I
obviously-
think I haven't been seeing anything, but as far as like the grapevine goes, I think that they're trying to make it less gory.
Yeah, right. and
Really?
The last time we went, didn't they get rid of the pterodactyl? Like I remember the blood splatter, but I don't remember the pterodactyl or whatever.
Yes, the
dinosaur-
pterodactyl was
Yeah,
gone.
it was a pterodactyl
Yeah.
there, but it wasn't there anymore?
It wasn't there anymore.
What?
Because they used to have a pterodactyl that was like just there, laying like dead with blood.
Wow.
Which I was like, wow, that's big moves on Universal for doing that. But then they're like,
But it's
ah,
even bigger
psych,
move
psych.
to get rid of
Psych.
it.
Bigger moves, yeah, there we go.
Wow.
With all of these, real quickly before we end this, I'll give you guys each one honorable mention. You don't have to say why you like it, just each one honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Oh,
Go ahead, Losh.
jeez.
I already mentioned one, but shoot, I'll shoot another one.
so-
Monster
Is
Masquerade.
it cheating if I
2018.
say?
Monster
Okay.
Masquerade is good. Gosh, what do I want to do?
Oh,
my gosh.
okay, I got
Silent Hills.
Oh,
Ooh, that was at
yes.
the bottom,
boom.
right? That was at the
Yeah,
bottom.
lower
Yeah,
lot.
the lower lot.
So
Yeah.
few times that they use the lower line.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with the same thing as you. I
Silent
remember
Hills?
because they had that in 2015.
No, they
Yes,
did.
they
They?
Yes,
Did
they
they?
did.
I
Yes,
thought they had the Wendigos
I
in
swear to you,
2015.
They had the Wendigos. Yeah, Silent Hills was
with the big old
Pyramid Head.
yeah.
Did they?
Dude, I'll pull it up right now. Because why would I remember it?
'Cause I remember the nurses. I remember.
I remember there was a video. I remember the
Yeah.
video. It's
I
all
remember the
Pyramid Head in
nurses
there.
were sick.
No, I remember the Wendigos in front of Jurassic Park.
The Wendigo.
I mean, it's still lower lot.
No, I know, but like I also miss the Wendigos and also Jurassic
Oh,
Park.
I see.
Never forget there was a "This Is the End" maze. Right?
Yeah.
Never
Did
forget.
they get that? Did you guys get that in Orlando, Losh?
No, I was kind of confused why you guys got it in the first place, and then I watched and I was like, "This is dope." I wouldn't mind walking through this once.
That was fun.
It's fun.
That was a fun one.
It was a good one.
Where the beep is my cell phone?
Yeah, that was,
That was cool.
Welcome to heaven, mother bleeper.
there you go. That was good.
Go ahead, Losh. What was yours? What was your honorable mention?
Is it cheating if I say any of the vamps?
Oh,
Just like
yeah.
Thomas
Go ahead. You just said that to make Thomas happy.
App lives on.
if I had to pick one of the two vamps, I'd say Vamp 85 as my honorable mention.
Okay.
Vamp 85 too.
So
but,
what
yeah.
would be the next vamp? I think the next vamp would have to be in the future.
It's gonna be Vamp 2005.
Yeah.
No, it's
Really? I don't know.
2025, and they're wearing space helmets.
Because we're gonna
Vamp,
be
Vamp 2055.
2055.
Do a
There we
whole
go.
100-year difference.
Just do vamp 5 and just prehistoric age vampire.
Or Vamp, Vamp,
One walking around with a wooden spoon.
or it's Vamp 2015, and it's like if vampires had taken over Hill Valley and Back to the Future.
Okay. I like that.
They got them properties.
I'd say for my honorable mention, one that hasn't been brought up at all was Toys. Do any of you guys remember that one?
That's a good one.
That's a good
Toys was a good one. I'd love to see that come to fruition
Losh
again.
is just like, nah.
It's okay.
We've seen like, because I don't know, I just think toys as a theme for a horror maze is cool. They did it at Fright Fest, I think, like
They
toys
did,
and
yes.
something like that. I'd like to see Horror Nights take a twist on that.
Well, we had Dollhouse over here.
There you go.
Oh.
Dollhouse was beautiful.
Ooh.
I don't know what that is. This is when I get to go.
Nah.
Nah.
Check it out. Check it out. No joke. It's probably one of the best houses that I've been
Dollhouse?
to.
All right. I'll check it out. I'll look it up.
2014.
Yeah, they're not mazes. They're houses.
Oh, they're houses.
Mazes. House.
I've
You
been
can call it a
struggling
maze, it's fine,
doing
trust
the
me.
Orlando coverage
Trust me.
now. It's been so hell to say houses.
You get hate for it if you call it mazes.
Yes, yes. People correct you, even though I'll say in the video. So I'll say pre-warning when I talk about Orlando. I'll be like pre-warning if I call it a maze. Sorry. People still be like, you called it a maze.
Not accepted.
I'm gonna look for it even more. Yeah.
Oh well, now you said that. Let's go deep dive.
That was
before
Fortnite.
we sign off, I have
Go
one
ahead.
question. When's the next episode of TLEV Pops?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, as I always say, first goal now is to get TLEV horror to 1,000. We are getting
We're close.
We're getting
close,
there.
we're close.
We're getting
By
there.
haunt season, you guys will be there for
Well,
sure.
that's what we're hoping for. Yeah. And then we go back to that channel. Then we can focus. I can focus on doing that afterwards. But yeah, my main focus is to get TLEV horror to 1,000 and start hopefully monetizing.
He has a mission.
Yes, there you go.
I know with
That's the mindset.
TLEV Media right now, you guys can't really do much because of. I mean, there's no media events to go to.
There's no media events, no
we
parks.
just released making Dual Whips. So.
There we go. That's what we did. Yeah.
It was great. It was great. I watched like half of it before we started this. It was great.
Thank you.
There we go. Thank you. But yeah.
Like I said, you guys can find all of their YouTubes down below, social medias. All that will be linked in the description. Guys, thanks for coming on. This is a
Thanks for
fun
having me.
podcast.
This was good. This was a
It was
good
awesome.
time. Yeah.
This was a really fun time. Check out me and Losh. All of our links are down in the description. That was Horror Nights Unscripted, episode 7. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Stay safe.